It was. We saw it in 2016. I think I saw it in 2015.
I think you had heard of it, but then we went and played it in 2016, and we were like, wow, this is great.
Well, it was one of those games that was on the. I think it was on the original Xbox One, like preview list for those for indie games coming out.
Well, that was also at a time when I was bitching really hard about a lack of Xbox exclusives. But then we played this game, and it was like, okay, this is 100% purchase for me. We asked the guy, when's it coming out? He says August of this year, so like, what, 4 months after we were at PAX. And
we were pretty pumped for it.
It disappears, never comes out. We looked for it last year, not even at PAX. And then there's a tweet, like 3 days before we get to PAX, that says, by the way, Below is going to be there. And it was like, what? Like,
yeah, because the story was, right, that the game was pretty much done, and that's why they gave that release date. Something happened, there was a slight delay, and then they just went radio silent. No explanation, they just kind of dropped off the face of the planet, and we were like, that's it, game over, not happening anymore.
Yes, it's not coming out.
So, I mean, it was fun back then. There wasn't even a lot to it, really, but it was just kind of...
I don't know that I saw much of a difference in this build than I did from the 2016.
It was definitely more polished. I mean, it had I know it has more 3D graphics. That was something that they really wanted to do.
Yes, it looked better.
And it stuck with us, I guess, too, because I remember some things back then,
like, at least 2 years ago, where I was like, oh, these are the enemies that bleed you, and then you gotta, like, go light a fire and cauterize your wound with your hot sword.
Yeah, that was good. I do remember that, yeah.
What?
I'm going to address the audience right here, just to give you a little bit of background on what Below is real quick. Below is this weird kind of dungeon crawler-y. There's a rogue-like element to it, though, but you're put into this dark world, and they just let you go.
Yeah, there's absolutely no explanation about anything.
There's no explanation. It's sort of like Breath of the Wild in that regard, where you're not given a lot of tools. You're just...
They just open the world up and they just kind of kick you out into it.
Yeah.
It's like, go for it.
You're just going downstairs. It's very atmospheric, very eerie almost, with how kind of dark and grim and creepy.
It's all grayscale. There's like absolutely no color to the game except for the enemies, which are all these bright beacons of red bouncing around in this completely gray and black world. But at no point is it like, you don't notice that. It's just atmospheric.
So what kind of stuck out to you about this game? Like, why is it so special to you? I mean, I know how I feel.
I love how in-depth the mechanics of the game are, without it giving you any indication at all. So, like, to really talk about any of them is kind of almost a spoiler, because half the experience is like figuring this stuff out.
When we were talking to the dev, he didn't want to tell us anything.
He didn't want to tell us anything. But like the one that I think we can go over, because I think it was the most obvious, but it was such a good way to get the point across of what you were supposed to do without having a pop-up that was like, hey, you need to do this, like, whatever. Like, you go into a room where there's this pond, and there's like fish and stuff, and there's like a chest or whatever, and you pick up a weapon. And if you go into your inventory, you notice that it's called the fishing spear. And this is a game that has hunger and thirst mechanics, so if you don't eat or drink often enough, you're gonna die. So the thing is called a fishing spear, and you're like, oh, I wonder if I can use this fishing spear to catch these fish.
Right.
And sure enough, you 100% can use, you just equip the spear, and boom, fish is dead, pick up the fish.
Well, I remember that was that one part where I was starving to death, and I was frantically looking for food, and I ran to the pond. I was trying to stab the fish to try to kill it, and I got one of the fish, but then 2 foxes came over and stole my fish. So I was chasing after them. I murdered them, and
they became meat.
But they didn't know that they became leather.
They became leather. You were screwed.
Which did not taste good.
No. And what really blew all of our minds was when I was playing first, and I walked into a spike trap and was impaled. So I passed to you. And then when you got into the room where I was, my body was still on the spike trap.
Yeah.
Which you then looted of all the stuff that I had found.
But what's interesting is that it's a procedurally generated game too. So your body wasn't in the exact
it's in the same room,
spot.
But it wasn't in the same layout.
Right.
But that's when we were like, oh, this is a roguelike.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't tell you that. He didn't tell us that.
You're diving down, right? That's the whole point. You're trying to get below. You're diving through these caves.
Yeah. You know, you're doing a lot of work to open a lot of shortcuts.
Right.
So that like I think he said, like, you're going to die. You're guaranteed to die, but you want to make your next run as easy as possible for yourself. So every run is the act of helping you to get further the next time.
Right, and that's kind of got that Dark Souls element to it. But Dark Souls kind of like, it's not obvious where the shortcuts are, but they're right there. You know, you go left, it's the main path. You go right, there's a elevator that takes as a shortcut. Below, I felt like it was kind of hidden. You know,
you had to work for it.
Yeah, it wasn't just given to you. He even had to direct me to a couple things.
Yeah, there were a few where he was like, let me just show you where to go.
Sometimes you really have to earn those shortcuts, and they're not just a given. And I'm definitely interested to see like how much more is it in this game, because for the amount of content that we've seen, I'm kind of surprised I liked it as much as I did.
Yeah, there's not much to it. That's the thing. But like, you can't have the experience that you have from playing Below by doing like any other medium. Like, you're not gonna get the same feelings that you get from playing Below as from watching a movie, because it's literally like you are figuring out everything that you're doing.
Yeah.
It's so natural, the natural experience of like learning what you can and can't do. And there's so many times where we were like, it seems like I should be able to do this, and then you were able to just do that, because that would be a logical thing. We never figured out how to cut that trip trap.
I know, which was annoying.
He wouldn't tell us how to do it.
There are these like trip traps on the ground. You can cut them somehow, but I couldn't
He
figure it out.
said you can cut them. Do you want me to tell you how? And we were like, not really. Please, like, don't tell us.
So to kind of wrap up this summary, this conversation of Below, what's kind of your takeaway? We barely scratched the surface, right?
Yeah.
We went down.
And we played for a long time too.
Yeah, we were sitting there with him for like 40 minutes.
We did what, only three lives.
It seems like there's a lot more to discover, and that's what that game's all about. They're not holding your hand or anything, they're really just letting you go, and there's kind of a uniqueness to that is not there in a lot of games these days. And I think that's what really resonated with me, and that's what I'm looking forward to, finally, from Capybara's game, Below.
Assuming it comes out.
Assuming it comes out
It's supposed to come out this year.
It is supposed to come out this year.
This year.